minute behind Whale right now, but the big question for a tournament race like this is consistency. I know that Whale is not the most consistent of players, but he's been playing for a lot longer than Nick has, and he definitely has the better PB. And his PB is from a race, so I don't know. We could very easily see the top race go either way.
I'm checking their PBs now. noxiousnick is a 113. Will is a high 111. So there's a little more than a minute between them, and then Destructor has a 110.31, and Scotty has a 108.56. So that's like a minute and a half.
Yeah,
so definitely you can lose a minute and a half pretty easily in a race setting.
Yeah,
if anything goes bad.
It's going to be a challenge for Destructor to win this one. No doubt about it. It could happen, absolutely, but he would have to play very well, and Scotty would have to play really poorly. And I mean, to be honest, I don't expect Scotty to play poorly. You can see they're all going through the Brinstar climb here, showing off that sweet movement tech. And they're not quite synced up yet, but we'll see where they are. And this is Scotty's having a really good start. Not quite the 132 missiles, but he got the 133, which is pretty good. Destructor not too far behind him.
Yeah. Then Nick at the 140.
No double for Scotty. Oh, there's the double for Scotty. There's the double for Destructor. Whew. We're keeping this close. And then see if Nick... Looks like Nick got it. Looks like Whale did not get it, so Nick might be pulling ahead a little bit here. Maybe not. They're pretty close up top. Scotty's... It's hard to say because they're not quite synced up just yet. But I think Scotty and Destructor are actually pretty even right now. Destructor's maybe a little bit behind. But they're synced up. I think
Scotty's the only one that's out of sync right now.
Yep. So we should be seeing them kind of desync momentarily. And looks like Nick is just a bit behind Whale going into Hive Room. Hive Room can change that.
Right.
Hive Room, I don't expect problems from anyone, but you know, it's one of those things that if it goes wrong, it's going to go very wrong.
Right.
Scott is through no problem, and Destructor's through no problem. See, I'm making
Whale taking some hits.
Yeah, Whale's got low health. Oh, Whale! Oh no! That's
oh no!
That's scary.
You do need
he's
3 missiles and 2 shots to destroy those hives. So if you miss a missile, that's a lot of extra shots you have to make.
Yep, and right now missiles do 10 times the damage of your beam, so each missile is 10 shots you have to make up. So I think we're going to be seeing a route divergence here. Scotty is pretty adamant about doing his early Brinstar, so we're going to be seeing him head upward. Destructor taking the race safe strategy of refilling at bombs. And Destructor, I expect, will be doing late Brinstar as well.
I would expect everybody else probably to do late.
I know Whale does late. Yeah, Whale's refilling at bombs as well. Nick doesn't need to refill. Nick has excellent ammo. And I think Nick does late Brinstar. I'm not totally sure on that, but I think he does. So Scotty's going to appear to be about 2 minutes behind everyone else. And they'll reconverge when they go into Torian.
Looks like we're having some bad bugs for everybody so far.
Yeah. Scotty got that first bomb jump, no problem. Taking his mandatory statue here. So Destructor, Nick, and Whale are all going to be making their way back to Kraid. So Scotty's screen is definitely going to be the more interesting screen at this point because Destructor had a little difficulty there. Scotty's going to have to make do without high jump or power grip for this area.
He definitely has the practice and the skill to do so.
Yep. So he's going to be doing a lot of bomb jumping. Ooh, that was a weird looking one, but he got it. So if you're familiar with the area, you might know that Scotty is right near where Varia's suit is. Scotty having a rough time with those bugs. Nick having to use a missile there. I don't know that that was a good choice, honestly. He had exactly the right amount of ammo. Now he's going to have to hope for another missile drop somewhere. Destructor obviously has tons of ammo. Whale has tons of ammo as well. Both of them healed.
Also, we should note that the layout says any percent, but this is 100%.
Oh, yes. I didn't even notice that.
Now, Destructor, first one into Kraid.
Yep, got that 551.
Nick very closely behind him.
Yep, Nick also getting that sub 6. Not bad. Whale looks like he's going to be missing out by a little bit. And that's mostly going to be the hive room problems that he had. But Kraid is a challenging area.
Definitely. Especially since it's so early, you don't have a lot of the items that you really enjoy having when you play casually, like Power Grip especially.
Yeah, you're definitely supposed to have Power Grip for Kraid, and we don't, so... Destructor getting a few extra missile drops there. So we're going to be substituting bomb jumps here.
You'll see Destructor coming up to one of the first instances where you have to bomb jump instead of a Power Grip.
Yep. This bomb jump is a little tricky because the blocks respawn, and so does that enemy, but he is through it with no problem.
Right.
Nick's coming up to it now. Let's see if Nick can get it.
It's the block. And those blocks respawn very quickly.
Okay.
So see, that one's already back. We made it. Nice. And now Whale.
Looks good. Good job, everyone.
Yeah, all three.
And now they're going to the hive room. The acid worm.
Right.
We've already been to the hive room.
An acid worm takes 30 missiles to kill.
Yep, so you can see...
Yeah, you go ahead.
Nick has barely enough ammo, so he's opting to farm. He gets the double small health! He farms 4 drops and gets 3 small healths. Wow, that's unlucky.
And the reason he wants to farm, even though he's above 30, is you could miss a shot, and then there's also the fact that we need 10 missiles after the fight.
Yeah.
Because there's some enemies we need to kill later on.
So we can see Destructor has the right amount of ammo. Oh, Whale's almost caught up to Nick here. Ah, Whale's slightly miscounting his missiles. He's off by 1. 1 more missile. Oh, okay, there we go.
Right. Nick is at 9, so he just needs 1 drop and he's fine.
Oh, Nick falls into the acid! And Whale's fine. He also only needs 1 drop.
Right.
And Scotty...
I just want to point out, when you have an odd number of missiles, after the fight you can shoot 1 at the enemy without any loss, because a drop gives you 2.
Yep, there's a few spots where you can use extra missiles here. We'll probably see Scotty take advantage of some of those, because doing early Brinstar, he's
right, he has extra.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't actually have a huge number of missiles right now. 35 is not a lot. But he's gotten the bomb jump, no problem. I didn't see his intercrate time.
Didn't either.
But let's see here. So Nick is enjoying a very slight lead over Whale, but Whale's been playing for longer. His slightly crisper movement is catching up.
It's all those little things that add up over the course of the run.
Zero Mission is very much a game of little things. Good side hopper, and I thought he had that.
And the side hopper room that Destructor is in is the one
Destructor
that we need the missiles for, because each side hopper takes 10 missiles. You get 10 after Acid Worm, and then you get 2 more expansion, so you have an additional 10 to get to the 20.
Nick showing us how that JBJ is done. Whale! Nice. Whale just missing it, and he's opting for the double bomb jump. That's a significant difference here.
Yes. JBJs are a lot of button inputs really quickly.
Yeah, the bomb input, or the bomb fuse is not very long in Zero Mission.
It looks like Scotty's kind of low. He's 5 missiles short.
Yeah, wow, Scotty's in a really bad ammo situation. That's unusual for early Brinstar. Why is okay. Destructor looks like he had a bit of difficulty in that room. Let's see what Whale and Nick do. Oh, Nick's going for the fast strat. Destructor went for this, but didn't quite get it. Oh, Nick got the good pattern! Nice job. Let's see if Whale can get it. Ah, he messed it up. He still got a good pattern, so we can get that JBJ real quick. Scotty's farming some ammo, which is probably not something he's used to doing.
Right.
Destructor?
For people just joining us. Scotty is on a different route. He cleaned up Brinstar early. So that's like a 2-minute difference that we won't see until a little bit later.
Whale just messing up that JBJ. Let's see if Whale... Nope, he doesn't even go for it. That's sensible. That refill glitch is very hard, and it doesn't save a huge amount of time. So, let's see. So, Destructor is going to be the first one to crate here. Or, crate the boss. So, crate is actually a really hard fight. In any percent,
Yes.
100%. In any percent, he's a joke. You just run forward and press B 3 times and he dies. 100%, you have to jump and time your double missile shot so you can get 2 missiles into his mouth per jump. Destructor's doing a pretty good job of it. Okay, he gets the 2 rounds. Good job. Nick, I expect to have no problems. Nick, despite being newer, kind of... Oh, he's too far forward. Commentator's curse strikes again. Whale, I expect to have no problems as well. Yep. Okay. 2 rounds for almost everyone. Scotty getting an unfortunate Ripper pattern. So, Destructor's getting his speed booster. He's got a decisive lead over the top 2, but unfortunately he's not racing them.
Right.
Mother Brain is a really, really annoying fight when you play casually. Oh, Scotty doesn't get the refill glitch either. That's a shame. He's
very close.
Sub-pixels off the ground.
And we should mention the refill glitch is when you enter a Chozo's like hands, and that usually heals you, but if it's holding an item, you can pick up the item, and while some of the text is up, you get part of the heal. So it saves a little bit of time.
Yep, I expect that we'll see it from Destructor later on in the run. Probably also Whale. Here's the setup. I think he does, but I'm not certain.
There's a pretty easy one at Screw Attack.
Yep.
So
I think that's the one we'll see Destructor do. So Destructor's out of crate. It looks like he's leaving at 12:48. So this is still entirely reasonable pace for Destructor. Scotty, ooh, he tanked a couple missiles there. That is actually a worse fight than Scotty normally gets. Whale's out at 13:04. I think he's just a couple of seconds behind Nick.
they are neck and neck.
Neck and Nick, you mean? Ooh, alright. That was good. I think my job doing commentary is done. I don't think it's getting any better than that. All downhill from there.
So
now they're going to be making their way over to Warfare.
one of the nice things about 100% is that we just go to Kraid and we get pretty much everything. We miss a few expansions, and then we go through Norfair, get a ton of stuff, and then full clear Ridley, and then we can head straight to Mother Brain. It's a lot more fluid in the early game, especially when compared to late game where you have to bounce around a lot.
Yeah, I like the early game routing. It's very smooth. It flows well, and it has good pacing.
If only we had power bombs early, flow a lot better.
Yeah. Oh, Destructor's doing the charge spark here. He gets it. So Nick is setting up for it as well. Okay. That initial storing that shine spark is really challenging. You can see Whale just missed it.
Yeah.
That's going to cost him a tiny bit of time. Nick recaptures some of that lead.
It's like Scotty's frozen. I don't know what's going on. Probably just internet.
It could just be his stream. I'm not in the SRL channel, so I don't actually see if he's posting anything. He has definitely been having some stream issues lately, so I think that's all it is. Alright, so we actually, most of Norfair is off to the right out of this elevator, but we can't actually get to it because we need to go get power grid first because it makes a vine disappear that we otherwise can't get through.
It's one of those vines that the bugs eat, and there's no bugs in the room, so
it's a
really arbitrary,
strange choice, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. Especially since like other games like Super Metroid were so open, and if you could get an item early, then you were fine. But
yeah, I mean,
this game is just a couple things.
It's very much in style to item gate your progress in a Metroid game, but doing it like that is
wall that you have to grab.
Yeah, like a jump you can't quite make, or a passage that's blocked by a certain kind of block, something like that.
Right. Even the blocks I don't necessarily agree with, because I mean that just adds 3 items that you have to get.
Hold on here. So they're coming up to a big reason why we get Speed Booster. It's this first super missile tank, and normally you would go off to the left and then to the right, but I think Whale is going to show us a different strat here. He's going to try to. Oh, he gets it.
Nice.
Gets it. That's going to save him a little. Oh, Nick also failed the spark.
That's what we're saying. It's those little things that make the difference. It's a really hard trick that paid off.
Nick really failed the spark. Oh, no. Oh, that cost him so much time. He must have been just a little too low. He must have.
Yeah, it looked like he got it when I saw him.
So Destructor's showing off the only real infinite bomb jump in the run. Wow, that was such a costly mistake from Nick. I'm really sad to see that.
And he lost that lead just like that. But like we said, anything can happen.
And Scotty's about to show us a couple frames of the same trick, it looks like. Oh, he's back. Nope, never mind, he's not.
It's a slideshow.
Yep. So if we can see it, then Scotty will show us the same trick. Let's see if
the
Nick
JBJ?
Yep. Ah, Nick missed the bomb jump. He doesn't know the... Okay, he does. Good. Scotty was the one who came up with that setup. The jump high and then jump... Oh, Scotty missed it!
At least he got a backup, the regular one.
Yep. Before Scotty came up with that setup, the setup was to just do a spin jump, and that was really hard. Alright, so Destructor is getting into Norfair proper here.
Yep.
Where? Norfair is actually one of my favorite areas in this game.
It's definitely got a lot to offer.
Anyway, I really like it. So Destructor is showing off the traditional route.
Right.
Where we just go up, we get ice, and I think Nick is going to be showing us a different route. Whale's going for a really challenging spark here. Ah, he didn't quite get it.
And that's called Ice Cream Spark, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
There's a lot of interestingly named tricks in this game.
It's a pixel-perfect spark across that room. Nick's showing us the diagonal. That's
nice. Slower,
I think, but it looks cool, so he's doing it. Nick is also actually going to show us a different route in Norfair. I love this route. This route is bizarre, it's ridiculous, but it has a lot of benefits.
So Nick is also going to be a little offset from Whale because of this route change.
Yep.
He's skipping Ice Beam, he's skipping...
It's not skipping it, he's just going to get out there.
Right, for now.
So they'll reconvene at the end of Norfair. This isn't a huge divergence.
And luckily he gets
the only difference is that Nick is going to collect one missile tank that Whale will have to collect later, and that's going to save Nick about 7 seconds.
And this route's called New Fair.
Yep. Well, no, it's not late ice. Oh, well, going for the GBJ there. Just a little shorter than optimal. Late ice gets ice after Ridley, and late ice fell way out of favor after a glitch was discussed. I'll tell you about when we get to it. So this has been called by some people the middle ice route.
High five from Whale and Destructor.
Yep. Nick in the first big heated room here. Gets through it no problem. He's got good health. I mean, if Nick was feeling really aggressive, he could try to skip refilling here. His ammo's not too great, and if you're not used to skipping the refill, doing it in a tourney race is not
right. I definitely wouldn't recommend it.
Yeah, I wouldn't make recommend it now either.
Hopefully we'll see refill glitch.
Nope, not like that.
Yeah.
Good effort though. So Destructor is going to be following Nick through these rooms. The routes are going to be the same through all these rooms.
Just a little spread out.
Yep. Whale's going to be starting off his hell runs. He's not healing at high jump either, so I mean that's fine. He's got more than enough health. And Scotty appears to have given up. Don't worry, it only looks that way because his stream is frozen.
Luckily, he can still play. And
there's the refill glitch on Destructor's stream.
Yeah, so you see the numbers are going up while he's acquiring the item.
Yep. Saves a little bit of time. It's not as much as it seems like because it does take some time to set up, but...
And also, it doesn't fill up while it's showing the pause menu, I believe. Is that correct?
I think that's correct, yeah.
So it's just the beginning of when the text is there.
Yep. So Nick is in this final heated room here. Well, okay, not the final heated room, but...
He still has the 45 health room.
Yep. Alright, so Nick is going to be coming right up to Wave. The Destructor is actually not terribly far behind him. And I don't know what's going on with Scotty. Whale is... Oh, Whale didn't go for Money Spark. That's odd. I thought Whale was a Money Spark proponent.
Money Spark is sparking through the room that Whale is in now.
Yep. I personally have not. I think the risk reward on it is not in favor of doing it, but you know, right. It is technically faster. So Whale has quite a history with this heated room, but he refilled that screw attack, so I don't expect him to have any issues. He'd have to really mess up for that to happen. Yeah, he's fine. Alright, so let's... Oh, Nick not quite getting the one round on the category. Let's watch Nick's screen here, because Nick is coming up to what I think is one of the coolest sparks in the game, the New Fair Spark. He's going to have to do a bunch of things. Oh, he gets the spark. That storing the spark and breaking that block is a 2-frame window. And then he's got to collect the missile tank and shoot the block and then spark all the way up. It's such a good-looking spark. He lost like a little bit of time on it, but that's okay. So now he gets to do this whole upper area. Ooh, using those jump extends to skip ledge grabs. Very nice. He gets to do this whole area with wave, screw attack, high jump. It's just a lot faster.
Right.
But that's not why this route saves time.
So where does the time save come in?
Believe it or not, the time save comes in from one of two places. Generally, because you effectively have more health, this route does allow you to skip a heal. Nick didn't do that, but I mean, that's risky for a tournament race, especially if you're not used to it. But the other time save, Destructor doing his Cocoon fight. Cocoon is actually a really hard fight the way Destructor's doing it.
Definitely.
But the other time save is, you'll notice as Nick falls down through this main shaft, he's going to collect a missile tank.
Ah, I see.
And
you usually get that way later in the game.
Yeah, and doing it then takes 6 to 7 seconds. So that missile tank right there that Nick just grabbed actually saves him a good chunk of time. And it looks like Whale's got a pretty decisive lead over Nick at this point. Scotty is on a tear right now. Despite that 2-minute difference at the beginning, he's not terribly far behind. Yep. And Nick taking his time to set up the Cocoon, and yeah, it looks like he's just taking that a little safe, which is fine. Cocoon is one of those things where if it starts going wrong, it's going to go very wrong.
Right.
Ah, Destructor messed up the Imago fight. Oh no, I didn't even see how that happened. Okay, so Scotty is going to show us. Right? I was going to say Scotty is going to show us how fast this Cocoon fight can be, but he definitely has messed this up a fair bit.
Cocoon is definitely one of the hardest mini bosses.
Yeah, it's really hard to do fast. Destructor got the Imago spark, very good. I didn't see if Whale got the one round on the Imago.
And there he goes. So Destructor gets a spark through that room he's in instead of going through a morph tunnel underneath.
Yep, see if Whale can get it. Oh, Whale doesn't get it.
And taking any sort of damage while having that speed, you lose your charge, which is unfortunate.
For supers.
Destructor coming up on something real quick in this room.
Yep, this is why we get Ice Beam early.
Well, he does an interesting setup. And you freeze two enemies, stand on top of them, and then kill them at the same time, and it gets confused on which enemy you're on and puts you at the level of the pipe that they spawn from, which is in the floor, and you just go straight through the floor.
Yep. If we didn't do that, we'd have to go all the way into the next room. Good setup from Whale, too. We'd have to go all the way into the next room, get a spark, and then jump through the map with it. And it's just significantly slower. Scotty should get a Imago spark with no trouble here. So,
Scotty's almost all the way caught up with Nick.
Yeah, he is right there. Alright, so Destructor is coming up to a really important spark. Not this one he's doing, but this next one. He's going to have to get a spark here. Nick opting to grab that super. I think that's a safe choice.
I think he has to, doesn't he? I'm not entirely sure how this clip works, but I remember hearing that you have to
he does. He does,
pick up item.
Destructor scared me with that spark. If he missed that spark, he would have to go all the way back to restart it. Scotty fell in the puzzle room. Oh no, he's got to leave and re-enter. Oh, that's such a
puzzle
time
rooms
loss.
in Ridley are just killer. If you mess them up, it's a huge time loss.
Yep, they're not necessarily hard per se, but if you mess them up, you have to leave and re-enter the room, and that's a huge time loss. Destructor's coming up to the most infamous one here.
It's a 4-frame.
Yeah.
He gets it first try.
Way to go, Destructor.
I know he's been having
and that's not even
recently.
That's not even the fast strat or the speedrunner strat. Like, that's just the strat. There is no other way to do that. The developer intended thing was to just run and jump.
You can make it a little easier by shooting 2 missiles at the second block, but it's barely any difference. It's the jump that's the hard part.
That does not affect the jump. Scotty opting to platform to get a super off that owl, so the owl naturally drops in a missile. Destructor struggling a little bit with the missile tank hitbox, which, to be fair, it's a little annoying. The missile tank hitbox doesn't quite line up with the missile tank sprite.
Right.
Scotty getting the diagonal, saving him a little bit of time.
Ooh, I was afraid he was gonna have to. Destructor was gonna have to do a second wall jump.
Okay, Scott. Hey, that was a little sketchy. Nick gets speed jump first try. Good stuff.
So far, everyone's got it. The speed jump first try, which is good.
Destructor. I like this puzzle room that Destructor's in. Oh, Nick fell. Oh no, Whale fell. Whale fell. He's going for the backup. This backup is really hard with high jump. Without it, it's not too bad.
I would have just said, take the.
I would have just sparked. Yeah.
At this point, it would have been faster.
Yeah.
You have to wall jump off of the blocks, right? You have to destroy them. There you go.
That gave Nick quite a bit of space to catch up.
Right.
So Destructor's coming up to the Ridley fight here, just missing that fast eye door, not quite quick enough on the super shot, it looked like. I can't see Scotty's missile or super count, but it looks pretty low.
It looks like it's 6.
No, that's normal, sorry. I forgot he still has 2 super tanks to collect, not 1. That was a pretty cheeky little strat from Scotty there that he didn't quite get. So don't blink. Oh, Nick fell down. Nick opting to take the Shine Spark.
That'll save him still a little bit of time over the whale having to jump a bunch of times.
Does allow Scotty to pass him. Scotty got a ton of supers there, but he's only short 1, so it's not worth going back for. Nick, on the other hand, I think should have gone back for that one, but Destructor looks like he's had 4 from, or is that 6?
He's at 6.
Looks like 6. That's good. Really good drops for Destructor.
So you can probably skip the Speedway, right?
Yep. Nick having to take the ball can't feels bad, man.
This is kind of getting that jump off of the edge of a block can be a little tricky sometimes.
Scotty says, nope, I don't need any of your super drops. Whale fighting Ridley here. And looks good to me.
Pretty good. Yep.
I think that was a fast idle from Scotty. Destructor setting up for the aptly named Jumpy Jumpy.
Gets it. Nice.
Stuff. And he's going to farm those owls, and he fortunately got the drops he needed. It looked like he had a little difficulty freezing that enemy.
Destructor is done with Ridley's area completely.
And he's leaving at 31.25. I'm not totally sure how that compares to his PB, but I think my gut feeling tells me that it's, in the vicinity of his PB.
You can try and look it up real quick.
Oh, Scotty got all the drops.
He's doing really well.
Yep. Wow. Oh, no, wait, that's only 2 for Nick. Nick only has 2 supers. Whale fell there. That's so annoying.
Oh, no.
That's so super annoying.
Having a lot of difficulties.
Whale also setting up for Jumpy Jumpy, and looks good. Nick having to farm Speedway there. Scotty fell, I guess? I've never seen that before.
What time did you say Destructor left, Ridley?
About 31.25.
31.25. His in his PB, he had a 30.57.
Okay, so we're about plus 30. Nick setting up for Jumpy Jumpy as well, doing kind of what we call the ghetto Jumpy Jumpy, freezing the bug from below. Destructor doing the spark while collecting the missile. What a guy.
Definitely a little bit more risky, but with a lot of practice, you can get it incredibly consistent.
It is the fastest strat. Although for late Brinstar, it's not that much faster. So Destructor, this is where the late Brinstar comes into play. He's going to be heading up to that top part of Brinstar that Scotty already cleared out.
Yep. And Whale exiting with a 30.16.
30.
Or no, that's 33. But that's not. That's exiting Norfair. Sorry.
Oh yeah.
Sorry to keep track of all this.
Yeah, I'm trying to get a rough idea of what sort of pace everyone is on. Destructor is, I think, still on pretty comfortable low 111 pace. And Scotty, I think, is probably on 109 pace. Because it's Scotty. Oh, Whale also getting the missile tank during the Shine Spark.
And the timer for the spark doesn't deplete, right, when you're collecting an item?
It does not.
Alright, so you do have, it feels like a lot longer than it is because you're paused.
Well, not quite doing the right movement over to this half of it though, and also freezing the enemy right.
Scotty also getting the missile.
Yeah, Scotty I would expect, because for early Brinstar that strat saves significantly more time since you're not going through there. For late Brinstar, I mean it's frames, but...
And Nick getting it too.
Good job, everyone. Scotty picking up long beam. And Whale Nick and Destructor all cleaning up this upper part of Windstar. Scotty not quite getting the cool strat. So Scotty, we can see, has a fairly definitive lead going.
Right.
Which this is expected.
This is where the split kind of ends.
Yep, Scotty's got comfortably the best first half of the game out of anyone. He's able to get sub 35 Torians almost every single run, and there's only been a handful of other people who have even done it once. Forget about multiple times.
Destructor's not too terribly far behind. He's about to enter pretty soon.
I think Destructor's going to be maybe about 45 seconds behind.
Let's see.
And he's trash talking in the chat. Sub Paul's more and do Torian. So Scotty is in Torian now. Torian is the RNG part of the run. And I co-jacked the supers, fired it off and entirely missed.
The Metroids all have a kind of a random amount of time for them to come forward from like the background. That's where some of the RNG and then also the drops play a huge role as well.
Yeah, absolutely. We're looking for supers, so we're going to see them go down to 4 supers and then switch to missiles. 1 super is 5 missiles, so obviously supers are significantly faster at killing Metroids.
And it looks like Destructor's about 40 seconds behind Scotty.
Yep.
Which is not that bad considering, you know, all the route variations and all the stuff that can go wrong.
Yeah, I mean, that's not necessarily bad pace. Like, 30 seconds behind Scotty is still a really, really good time.
Right.
Oh, Scotty got grabbed. Scotty got double grabbed.
Oh no.
Scotty got... Oh, Scotty.
Here we go, Destructor. And gain extra time.
A little bit of time to catch up, yeah. Scotty does leave with 6 supers, which is nice, because... Oh, Destructor gets grabbed! But he recovers a lot faster.
And Scotty on his way fighting Mother Brain.
Yep. Whale just starting his Torian as well, and Nick... I'm gonna say Nick is maybe about 30 seconds behind Whale right now. So Mother Brain in a speed run is really easy because you can just sit right there on the ledge and she can't do anything. Destructor looks like he got some ridiculous super drops at the end. He's got 10 supers.
He's gonna be able to have a quicker Mother Brain.
Yeah, so what he's gonna do is he's gonna use supers on 2 of the Zebatites, I hope. It should have been the first 2, Destructor. But...
He's
and
fine.
Then 4 for the glass, and he can just jump right to the safe spot. And okay, there we go. Fumbling around a little bit. Whale did it. Wow, what is Whale doing? He went all the way down to 0 supers. That's an aggressive play.
Right, because he might not get those drops.
Yeah, if he doesn't get those, or is that 4?
That's 0. It looks like.
It looks like 0 to me. I don't know.
Stream is a little pixelated.
I don't know if that was just him making a really bold play, or just not paying enough attention to what he was doing, but that could be really, really bad for him. And I'm not seeing any super drops here, so this is... Wow, this is looking really bad for Whale. No supers.
No.
Oh no. So, oh, Nick's down at 3? What is going on here, guys? Just stay below 4, it's not that hard. But now, ooh, Nick gets some double supers though, so that's good. And you can see Whale trying to farm here. I honestly don't know if farming is faster than just going. Whale decides to stake his money on just going. But that's going to be a slow
He could destroy some of the Zebatites, the little walls, and then go back and heal, but I don't know. It's not really useful.
He's got the ammo, so...
Right. He's missing a few.
Or
I also want to mention Scotty and Destructor are now about 25 seconds apart.
yeah,
So,
I mean, those grabs in Torian cost.
yeah, that makes a big difference.
So Nick should have a much faster mother brain here.
Once the glass is broken.
He gets the good setup. That's good. Good job, Nick. Picking up a lot of time. Scotty making the race-safe decision to heal. So now, if I'm Destructor, I'm seriously considering skipping that heal, I think.
I wouldn't. Scotty healed. I think, you know, because if you lose the run, then that's it. And with the nerves and everything.
Yeah, I don't think skipping the heal for Destructor is a good play. Just because the way seeding works, you know, you get a 9-hour penalty for not finishing. Yeah, he heals. Right. Plus, Scotty is just overall the better player. The 10 seconds he might save on skipping,
and he gets it.
He's very unlikely to make those back. Whale raging about that Torian.
It looks like Nick and Whale are just like
I can't blame him. I mean, no supers like that. That's always infuriating when that happens.
And it looks like Destructor going for the tripwire skip.
Which it looks like he got.
Yeah.
Let's say Scotty's in the searchlight room. Here he's going for the fast searchlights. He got it. That's going to save him about 2 seconds. I'm pretty sure Destructor will go for that as well. So now, I wonder what we're going to see from the top winners. They're a lot closer, and they are probably a lot more evenly matched in the late game.
And Sueless is a very consistent section of the game.
Yep, I wonder, like, I think Whale should heal. Whale is ahead. There's no reason for him not to heal and try to keep that. Plus, he has a better top end than Nick does. So, I think Whale skipping the heal would be a silly choice. Nick, I don't know. Nick has a really convincing argument for skipping that heal. He's not that far behind Whale. The 10 seconds, with how close they are and how well they're matched, those 10 seconds, that could be the difference. Whale healed, sensible. Nick is also healing. That I can't really fault him for. I don't know how comfortable he is with this suitless section. And if he's anything but extremely comfortable, then skipping the heal could very easily backfire.
And if you don't heal, then it's just one hit and you're dead.
Yeah.
So also, Gotti and Destructor, it's now more of a 45-second discrepancy, I think, because Scotty's movement in Suitless has been so crisp.
Yeah, Scotty's movement is really just what sets him apart from everyone else in this tournament. He's just gone through such lengths to just optimize every single little room, no matter how small. You know, it's kind of like Horton hears a who, but instead of that, it's Scotty hears a frame he can save.
It's a stretch, but it works.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't think of anything to rhyme with Scotty. Or who. But let's see if Whale goes for fast searchlights here. He opts out of it. Alright. So Scotty's in this last big room. And he got through taking no hits, so he's in good shape. And Nick is just about 5 seconds or so behind. No, that's not 5 seconds.
Very close.
It's maybe about 5 to 10 range. 5 to 10 range, I think, is fair. So Scotty's the first person to reach Charlie. Charlie is the boss here.
Looks
Why
like
is he
9
named
seconds
Charlie?
for Whale and Nick.
Yeah, that makes sense. So I mean that's turning into a really good race. Destructor, let's see here. I think.
Looks like he didn't take a hit either. So.
Yep. I mean, I wouldn't expect either of them to take hits. Looks like he messed up a jump there. And he's behind by about the Charlie cutscene, and I don't know how long that is. 40 seconds-ish. So the goal is to shoot those sigils with a charged shot, and the amount of time it takes them to appear is random. That was really quick. You can speed it up a bit by shooting yourself, so having healed, we're going to see Scotty and Destructor do that. That one wasn't so quick.
And that'll hopefully save back some of the time wasted on the heal.
Yep. I mean, you can save, on average, you'll save about 3 seconds in the Charlie fight if you heal. It's not a guarantee, and it absolutely does not offset the amount of time it takes to heal, but that was a slow pattern for Destructor.
And you have to keep moving during the fight as well, or else an extra lightning will hit you.
Yeah, that's a good point. I didn't even think about that. So that third round looked fast. Ooh, that was a good Charlie for Destructor. And you'll notice, subtle thing, Charlie died in the bottom right. So he's got to get back to the center of the room, and the sigil has to get to the bottom right corner. So you can actually save a little bit of time if you get it to die in the bottom right versus the top left. You have no control over it, of course, but if you get lucky, you can save a little bit of time like that. Scotty doing the E-Tank spark here. Let's see.
So
Ooh,
good
that was
so
scary.
far.
Yep. And it looks good. He's got it.
Looks like, well, I don't want to jinx it yet. I'll wait until Nick's through this room.
Yeah, Destructor's going to be going for this as well.
I think it's safe to say no one got hit by a pirate, at least, in Suitless.
Yep.
It looks like Nick got hit by 2 of the eyes. Because usually it brings you down to 83.
Yep.
Right.
So even if you don't heal, they're not going to kill you.
They do 16?
Destructor. Okay, that scared me a little bit. Okay, Destructor's good. Good job, Destructor. So now, this is like kind of my least favorite part of Zero Mission, speedrunning. I like the movement through this section, but just the fact that we're at Charlie, we have to go all the way to basically the end of the game to collect power bombs. And then we have to go all the way back through a bunch of areas, including going almost all the way back to Charlie to pick up a power bomb that we just cannot get early. I
feel exactly the same way.
It does not flow as well as it could. I like the movement throughout all the sections. Like, it's generally fun and relaxing, but
you go so long without getting any items.
Yeah, when you're watching, it's definitely not the most interesting thing. So you can see Whale lost a little bit of time because Charlie died on the left half of the screen. Let's see what Nick gets here. Oh, he just missed it. Oh no.
Oh.
Okay. So Nick lost a little bit of time on Charlie there, but he got the glitch. So keep an eye out on Nick's screen to see some funky
He's gonna shoot some shots.
So Whale is going to be setting up for his E-Tank spark here.
Right, and if we look at Nick's screen, he's going to have just in a second, because he shot shots with the stun gun, and there they go. They turn to a different sprite.
Yeah.
If you shoot him during the cutscene when you have the suit.
Whale's taking the spark a little safe. I can't blame him. That spark is really punishing if you met.
Yeah, the timer for the shine spark in this game is really short for some of the sparks you need to make.
Well gets it. Let's see. Now it's Nick's turn. Whoa, he's high. Okay, he got that. You can opt to play it safe by saving this missile tank until after the spark. Okay, he's good. Dude, 4 for 4 on Charlie E tank. That's what we like to see. Oh,
and on the speed room, was it?
Speed jump?
Speed jump, yes. A lot of tough tricks have been 4 for 4, which is nice.
Grabbing his power bombs. And I think Scotty is still on pretty comfortable 109 pace. Maybe not comfortable. I'd say he's got maybe 15 seconds to spare on that, but we'll see. 15
and that's another
seconds is not a lot.
A route divergence. Scotty got 2 power bombs and immediately used them. Well, you'll see definitely from Destructor. I believe.
I think everyone else will do the door clip route.
Right, you can freeze an enemy and go through the door, which saves a power bomb.
Yep.
Because you open it from the other side.
It's not, like, strictly speaking, it's not the faster route, but it is a heck of a lot more consistent. Because you're going to see Scotty have to do this really convoluted shine spark chain when we get back to the criteria. But,
and there's the clip from Destructor.
Everyone else will be able to just run through it. But what can happen is Scotty can get a power bomb drop, and that will enable him to just run right through those routes and will make his route the fastest route. So that's basically why he's done it. Basically, he's optimized that much where he banks on that about 25% chance of saving the time.
So right here he goes left. And instead of going down to collect some items, I think you'll see the other runners do.
I'm going to open up Nick's stream here. I'd like to see where he is relative to his PB. It's red.
Scotty right now going for
plus 30
last 2. This is a trick you only have 1 chance to do the whole run. It looks
and
pretty
not
good.
like you have 1 chance to do it or you have to reset the room. No, that tube stays broken. So you can only get that. You can only attempt it once.
And if you don't get it, you have a route deviation you have to make.
Yeah, so Scotty's in the lottery room. So this is where he's really hoping to get that power bomb drop, and looks like he didn't get it.
No.
So now he's going to have to do what we have affectionately termed the Ming Li, which is everyone's cue to post Ming Li in chat. And it's like, oh, Whale messed up the door clip, so he's going to be doing the backup of the route Scotty's doing. Loses him a little bit of time because he tried to set up the door clip.
Right. I always go for the pause buffer method because I think it's much more consistent.
Yeah, the pause buffer method is absolutely free. There's so little room for error. There's so much room for error. So Nick got the door clip.
Especially since if you're early, you just pause buffer it out until you're on the right frame. But you shouldn't be early anyways.
Yep.
And it's just a little time loss.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's about 2 seconds overall, slower than the unbuffered method. But, I mean, it depends. It's one of those personal choices.
Right. Like, I always go for it, but I know not a lot of people.
If you're really not very good at this shine spark chain that Scotty just did, the 2 seconds that you spend door buffering the power bomb door to make absolutely sure you get it is probably still faster.
Exactly.
There's just so much going into it.
There's a lot of not just with the macro routing of what rooms to do, where there are a lot of choices. Oh no, Destructor! Missed glass tube.
Destructor has a really unfortunate relationship with glass tube. It's something that he struggles with a lot more than other runners.
Well, you know, I always say that pressing down is the hardest trick in the game.
It is. It really is.
It really is.
But unfortunately,
right.
There's a silver lining here. The way Destructor messed it up doesn't actually lose a whole lot of time. It's weird. Like, glass tube is a route-defining trick. So you would think you mess it up, you lose big time. No. The way he messed it up, I think he lost about 5 seconds.
Because he got that power bomb. And he's skipping the super missile tank there.
Yep,
and the one here.
Destructor's doing the proper backup route. This is what cleanup used to look like before glass tube was implemented. So he's going to be revisiting a few of these rooms later on. So
looks like Whale got glass tube, so he's doing fine.
Missing
door clip.
Yeah, missing glass tube is unfortunately one of those really feels bad tricks. It does not feel good to miss glass tube. I mean, obviously it doesn't feel good to miss anything, but like, it feels extra bad to miss glass tube.
Right.
So Scotty's
entering Crade.
Yep. So this is the item we need to come back to Crade for. We cannot do this without gravity suit.
Right. Another weird thing that just kind of feels out of place in the Metroid game, forcing you to come back so late in the game for a single item.
Yeah, there's a lot of that, unfortunately. It's definitely my least favorite design decision about Zero Mission.
And there's so many good decisions they made with this. It's a shame.
Yeah. Like, I like that there's incentive to revisit areas, but there's a few things that are just way out of the way.
Right.
So we're grabbing a few items here in Crade. You know, we don't have to get them now. Oh, Whale messed up the spark chain, unfortunately. It's a hard spark chain.
As Nick is going for glass tube.
Yep, Whale is going to appear to be about a minute and a half ahead of Nick at this point. So we'll check. We'll check when they re-enter Torian. Scotty in the most awkward room in the game. And Destructor is going to appear to be about a minute and a half further behind Scotty than he is.
Right. Seen a lot of interesting unintentional route divergence in this second half.
Yep. That's my favorite thing about Zero Mission 100% as a category. There are so many viable routes for this game. Right. You can do so many different things. Like, there's 2 routes for Crade, 2 routes for Brinstar, 3 routes for Norfair, really, but you know, there's really only 2 that are viable. 2 cleanup routes. There's just 3 really. There's just so many choices you have for how to approach the game. And I said I would check in Torian, and I did not, so I have no idea how far apart Nick and Whale are. Destructor doing his Crade cleanup now.
Yeah.
Ah, Scotty dropping that space boost a little early. Not a big time loss, but it's a time loss nonetheless.
Right.
He's through most of the hard stuff at this point. So not all of it, certainly not all of it, but...
Coming up here. Because, I mean, we're almost at the 1 hour mark. So, pretty soon people's PBs are going to start passing us by in about 10 minutes.
Yep. So I know that Scotty is looking for about a 1 hour mark to leave Norfair in his PB. But he is on really strong pace right now, regardless.
Right.
But see, that's the missile that Nick does not have to get. It doesn't apply to Scotty versus Destructor, but Destructor getting the somewhat cheekily named early power bombs.
Right, because you can get them early, but you have to die and it doesn't save.
Yeah, there's no feasible way to actually get them early. Whale finishing up great cleanup here, Nick finishing up Torian.
Everybody's at pretty different parts of the game, but we have, like I said, so many different routes going on. Destructor missed glass tube. Scotty didn't do door clip. Whale didn't do door clip, and Nick got both. Correct?
Yeah, that sounds about right. So I think everyone's doing a different cleanup route.
Right. Okay.
Well, actually, no. Sorry, Whale and Scotty.
Yeah.
Thing, but they're not racing each other.
Racing, and they're quite a bit apart.
Yeah. So cleanup looks like it's been going pretty well for everyone so far. A few minor things, but
Scotty's looking ready to go back and enter Chozoti and finish cleanup.
Yeah, so Scotty's coming up to the absolute worst item.
Right.
He's got to get a couple items here, but he's basically going to be taking a 3-minute detour to get a single powerbomb tank. It's relaxing when you're playing, but when you're
at least you get
watching,
this super missile here. It's the closest thing that's on the way, but you still have a long way to go.
Yep. Whale setting up for the Shining Spark here instead of the Space Boost we saw Scotty and Destructor do. It loses less than a second, and it's significantly easier, just because it looks slower, but the Spark does move a bit faster than the Space Boost, and the room is so long that it almost catches.
Nick almost out of trade.
Yeah. Scotty must have misused a power bomb because he healed there.
Yeah, I missed that.
I didn't see what he did. He may have. Oh, I bet I know what he did. I bet he placed the power bomb too low. So you have no power bombs to spare here.
Right.
So
and
using
drops are so uncommon.
Drops are actually not even uncommon. Drops are literally non-existent in this part of the game. Pirates do not drop anything.
Right. Well, I was referring to just the other enemies too. He could have gotten a drop earlier.
Yeah, he could have. He did not, but he could have.
It's very it's not uncommon to go the whole run without getting a single powerbomb drop.
Yep.
Happens quite often.
It's generally the expected state of affairs, to be honest.
Right.
Oh, that's a Cosmic Brain strat from Destructor. Oh, because he doesn't do this route often enough to know that you're actually supposed to space boost over all the water down below with this route.
Right. And Destructor has a couple items to collect from Missing Glass Tube. They'll see him get after this out-of-the-way area.
Yep.
As Scotty's just making his way up to Mecha Ridley.
Mm-hmm. So after collecting this power bomb and leaving the glass tube room, Scotty will have converged with Destructor's route. So we'll see that. Or no, sorry, Destructor did door clip, so that's not true. I lied.
Right. So he has even more to pick up, right?
Yeah, Scotty still has to do the whole lower part of the ship. That Destructor's already done. Whale leaving Norfair at about 104.37. It doesn't appear to be that far behind him.
No. Still a
Especially,
pretty close race.
Remember, Nick's saving the 7 seconds on that missile tank there.
Right. And it only comes into play now, an hour and almost 5 minutes into the run.
Yep.
So, I mean, anyone could miss a spark later, and you know that could be the difference.
Yep.
Because those can be devastating to miss. They shouldn't, but you know, you hope they don't. But.
I mean, there's not a whole lot of game left.
Right.
I think, looking at it, I think Whale and Nick are actually really close together. I think Nick is going to wind up being slightly behind, but it's not by much, and there are a couple of things left that, with how close these two are, that could change it.
Right.
Looks like about a 105.48 for Nick.
Destructor now leaving Chozodia to get the items he skipped.
Yep.
For missing glass tube.
So this route looks a bit better. Looks a little bit cleaner. There's a bit less of nothing going on at points, but basically now he's just heading right back to where he originally got power bombs, and this at least gives him a little something to do in the meantime.
And I'm just curious, why is it faster to do the missile tank in this kind of like bomb puzzle room later rather than earlier?
Because it lets you get a shine spark on the way out.
Oh.
So this is not a route that a lot of people are familiar with nowadays, just because it's slower. And for the most part, when people learn, they just learn the glass tube route. So when they fail glass tube, they just do the intended spark up there.
Right.
So Scotty is converged with Destructor now. So this is the spark that I was talking about. That's how they would get the tank. Just not now. They'd get it when they're supposed to get it, and then continue on with the glass tube route. Destructor did remember that he picked that up. So.
Yeah. Scotty all the way almost to Mecca.
Yep, Scotty's just got one item left.
So his route and Destructors have converged completely, I believe.
I think we saw
Destructor
check into that he's got
Destructor.
everything. Smart play.
Scotty getting the last E-tank, no problems.
Yep.
It can be a tough trick, but it's definitely prepared.
Yep. So Scotty's about to fight Mecha Ridley with the final boss here. And Destructor's not terribly far behind. So, and this will verify. Scotty's trying Nick's doubles, but those are hard.
Right.
Wow.
So, like we saw earlier with Kraid, you can shoot two super missiles into Ridley in one jump, but very, very difficult. Nick goes for it, but you definitely need to practice that quite a bit because the timing's different.
Oh, Scotty's setting up for door power bomb. Let's see if he saved additional time with it. He lost time over door bomb. Tisk tisk, Scotty, tisk tisk.
It's barely anything, but
It's frames, but still. Alright, so Whale is now going to have to go to the lower part of the ship that Nick has already cleaned up, so he's going to go down here. Destructor going for space jump E-tank.
see how he does.
He gets it! That was close at the end, but he
Nice.
gets it. Good job.
And that part is kind of confusing because you can't hold right while moving because you'll grab those ledges.
Yeah.
But you keep your momentum. Oh, he missed the spark. It's not a big deal, but
Having a little difficulty getting onto that platform. One there. So Scotty's setting up for the final trick here. Let's see if he can get it. He's going very fast here. No problems. Destructor is setting up for the Mecha Ridley fight here. We can confirm that Destructor has 100%. He's getting some good patterns.
Nice.
That's a really good fight. Oh, he didn't quite get the missile glitch. That's okay. Really good Mecha Ridley fight from Destructor. Scotty's done with a time of 109.53. That's a really, really strong time. Destructor hits the door bomb. There are 2 people who have gotten a time better than that. One of them is Scotty.
And the other one would be you then.
Yep.
Only 2 people with 109s.
Yeah, Sam has an unofficial 109, but he wasn't recording it, so unfortunately for him, no vid, no did. Oh, I wasn't even paying attention to Nick versus Whale. Nick is way ahead of Whale. Wow.
It's from that door clip cleanup, I would assume.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's hard to say. Like, this isn't that much of a difference. So let's see. I don't know if Nick goes for Space Jam B-Tank. I think Whale needs to go for it. If Whale wants to win, Whale needs every second he can get. And Destructor got his escape spark there. Good. Oh no, Nick! He didn't break all the blocks. I think Nick...
That could be the difference. I mean...
Oh! Nick's not going for Space Jump E-Tank. The sink, I think.
Wow.
He's going to be a little ahead here. He's going to save a lot of time if Whale messes this up. Oh, Whale messes it up! Oh no! Oh, that's...
Right at the end, too.
Whale does know the proper backup for failing it that way, fortunately, so... Oh, Whale doesn't break all the blocks! Oh no, Whale. Oh no.
Like we were saying, you know, all those little things can add up right at the end, you know, the last trick, pretty much, and make that difference.
I mean, see Nick trash talking. I don't know, man. I don't think the run's over yet.
Right, there's still escape spark.
Well, or Nick going for his patented doubles on Mecha. This takes a lot of supers, but that lets you get such crazy good fights.
Mecha's already dead.
But Nick has everything.
And Whale coming up with his fight now.
Yep. Wait! I thought that was a 6 super mecha for Whale. And I was like... oh boy. Okay.
Looks like with 30 seconds, is that right?
Yeah, that seems about right. I mean... That was...
But it's not over yet.
Right at the end. No, it is not over.
To wait and see.
Nick still has 1 trick left. Still got this escape spark. That sounds like...
Hello.
Nice.
Hello, okay. So Nick playing this spark safe, and he gets it. And that's the nail in the coffin.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
GG to everyone.
Oh, Nick just the charge shot. He's losing a bit of time because of that. And
Will coming up on the spark now.
That's Nick finished.
1:13:57.
Oh, Whale's going fast. He's going for the space boost. That's not really that much faster. But it's okay. Style.
Definitely cooler looking. And swag is really what's important.
Oh, when he messed up the Black Pirates too. Him and Nick both.
Right?
And that's Whale
There we
done
go.
with a 1:14:32. So, how'd you feel about that run?
It was okay. Things were pretty smooth after I left Ridley.
Yeah, Ridley looked a little on the rough side.
Yeah, I'm really freaking tired,
I believe it.
but I'm pretty happy with a 109 in this condition.
109 in a race is a strong time.
Yeah, for sure.
Definitely. There was also a Torian. You got grabbed like 3 times.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
I did, but I still managed to only lose like 5 seconds over my PB, even with that. So that's
I
fine.
mean, yeah. It sounds like we've got everyone else in here with us. Hello, everyone.
Hello,
Hello,
So let's go in
GG.
order.
GG.
Hey,
How
GG.
do you feel about that Destructor?
I guess I can consider it as a good run considering the performances I've been putting up lately, which were mostly high 111s, which is definitely not what I like. And I think 111.20 with that much of a sloppy early game and missed glass tube is still okay, honestly. It would have been a 110 without these, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, if I were you, I wouldn't be terribly sad about that run.
Yeah, I was very upset at the beginning, but then reflecting on it, it's okay. It's okay. Scotty really wanted to kill as many points from me as possible, though, putting 109 in a race.
I was actually pretty nervous coming in because I've only been putting up like 111s recently. So
It's alright.
Yeah.
I didn't PB life for you. I
Yeah.
tried to make it easy.
Yeah.
So
But no, you played amazing.
Yeah, everyone did
Thanks.
really well, I thought.
yeah, that was definitely a fun race to commentate, especially Nick and Whale. You guys kept that really interesting right up until the end.
I think after
Right.
this tournament, I'm going to quit at this game. I just have no talent and no skill at it. I think I'm just done with this game.
That's the
Oh, that's
game,
no fun.
you
We can
know.
always
I
do
mean,
another race.
that's kind of odd to say considering you have a 111.
Well, yeah, I mean, 111 is really not a bad time, dude.
Yeah.
It's not a good time, in my opinion. I don't know. I feel like no matter how much time I put in this game, whenever I actually need to play the game, I can't do it. And I don't feel any stress when I'm playing. I just can't do it because I'm not. I don't know. I stopped
I mean,
resetting in Brinstar, and it's not helping me.
Have you been practicing lately? If no,
Yes.
then it's normal.
I have.
Sometimes
I
you
can't.
just get runs that aren't, what you hope they'd be, and nothing you can do about it.
The
It's
issue
just the
is
human error.
it's not sometimes. It's like I'm more likely to get a 120 than I am a 114.
Yeah.
And that literally just makes me not want to play the game.
Dude, we still had a close race, though. That was pretty fun.
Yeah, that was fun to commentate.
Yeah, definitely.
Very back
There
and
are a lot
forth
of times.
the whole way.
Yeah, definitely back and forth.
3 minutes in, I stopped having fun with this run. As soon as I screwed up Hiverum, I just couldn't play the run. I just couldn't play the game. This happens to me every run now. I just don't get it. Like, look at Torian. I went in with 7 supers because I got no drops, and I literally got 1 super from the Metroids. Yeah, it was bad going under 4, but I should be able, to at least get a drop or 2, given how bad the RNG had been up to that point.
I pretty
That just doesn't
consistently
happen.
get like 1 or 2 drops from every single Metroid in all my practice. I mean like 1 or 2 total throughout all of Torian, not every Metroid.
Yeah. There's
I
a
hate
lot
when I kill
of
15 Metroids in a row and get
RNG.
nothing.
There's a lot of tough stuff you gotta do.
I was pretty happy with my run though. Aside from taking 2 trips to get Criteria Super, I think I was close to my PB.
I was incredibly disappointed with every single area. I don't think I had a good Brinstar. I don't think I had a good crate. I don't think I had a good criteria. I guess
I think you're being too
Power
hard on
bombs.
yourself.
Power bomb
definitely.
split was okay, but I don't even think I'm being too hard on myself. I've been playing for this game for almost 2.5 years now, and I can't even get a 111 consistently.
I mean,
Well, part of that is that you're not really playing consistently.
Well, yeah, I think you're still being too hard on yourself.
Yeah,
reflect on me. I've been playing this game and running this game for 5 years. It's been less than 2 months since I can actually do that consistent. So don't worry about how much time you've put in since the very beginning. It's more about what you did recently
right.
than all the experience you could have behind. You've taken a long break recently, so it's not surprising if you're not able to get your real level back up. But With
Yeah,
a few,
but I also
a bit
got
of
my
practice, it
111
will come back.
better recently. I don't know. I just don't get how I can get a 111 one day and then 115 the next. Like,
Done
where
the
did all
same
that
when
skill
I've
go?
done my first 110. You know.
Well, I picked up this game earlier this year when I heard about the Hundo tournament, so you could always catch back up at my rate.
Yeah, I don't have
Yeah.
that talent. I know.
Well, I think part of it's also time and how you use that time to practice, you know, because doing full runs of the game, I feel like it makes me a little bit better, but there's definitely like rooms that I just have to do over and over, and that's a little more boring and harder to kind of sit down and practice, you know, specific strats over and over, because there's so many that, you know, just are tough and you need to practice regularly. No, that's my sense.
At the end of the day, for me, it's just me messing up in rooms I never mess up. And like, how can I practice things that I gotten like reverse Norfair space boost? I think of the last 50 times I've done it, I've gotten it 50 times, and then I just messed it up now. Or I don't know, pillar room. Pillar room I'd finally gotten over, and then 2 consecutive runs I fall and lose 30 seconds to a minute. I just can't practice everything. I don't have the time to just grind every room.
You don't have to grind every room, just the ones that give you trouble.
And sometimes you'll just make a mistake that you've never made before, and you gotta kind of not let it get you mentally. Still try and enjoy the game, and I think your outlook also kind of, you know, affects how well you play.
For sure.
So
Yeah, I stuck with the safe strats this race because I've been practicing things like Norfair Space Boost or the Space Boost E-Tank and stuff like that that'll save a second. But I haven't been getting it in my practice this morning, so I didn't go for it in the race.
I feel like I did most of the safe strats too, and I just whatever. I don't know. Like missing door clip too pissed me off. Like, how do you miss door clip?
well,
I don't know. I'm not even.
there were a lot of things that went really well. Everyone got the speed jump in Ridley first try. All 4. That was pretty nice.
4 for 4
Everyone-
on speed jump and 4 for
Yeah.
4 on Charlie E-Tank.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone healed at suitless, and no one took mortal damage, which was cool. So there were definitely
Scotty, you
things
heal
to be
at
proud of.
Surface.
Yeah, I told you I was
Wow.
super tired,
really
so I'm like,
unconfident.
I'm probably gonna die if I don't heal.
Yeah. I mean, well played on you then. I had an insane Charlie. Like, what the hell was that?
Yeah, your Charlie was crazy.
That was
Mhm.
insane. Holy hell. I was only +2 to my gold despite healing, so you can tell.
Yeah, that Charlie was stupid good.
Overall, you know, I think everyone did a really great job. We had some close races, and we look forward to seeing you guys perform in the future.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep.
Future races should be a lot of fun.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
That's, I think, everything we've got to say for it.
Pretty much.
So
Maybe announce a few more races that we have. Do we have one
Yes.
tomorrow with Eagle, I think?
I think there's one in an
no,
hour.
that's actually
Or
no,
hour and a
not
half?
even. It's in 30 minutes.
Oh,
Oh, yeah,
oh
time
wow.
zones. That's right.
Eagle
Ugh.
and Boxmeister.
I would have commentated that.
You can still
Do we
sign
have
up.
No,
a
I
commentator
can't.
for that? Is there
Doesn't-
someone on comms?
It doesn't look like it right now.
I
can
can't
sign
do it.
up.
I might be interrupted in the middle, so
All right, well, that's it for now.
We'll see you guys back here in a little bit.
Hope you guys
Hopefully.
all enjoyed it.
Bye.
thank you guys
Yeah.
for commentating. See ya.
Thanks, guys.
See you.